I don't pay taxes, and I don't save money, and I use debt to get rich, and I don't invest in the stock market. That's why I'm rich.
The opportunity for self-education is there. We have to change our psychology from, I'm gonna do what everybody else does, and I'm mad because it doesn't work anymore, to the reality is this is the greatest time to be alive if you're growing, you're learning, you're educating, and you're developing valuable skills.
Do you know that every living soul gets exactly the same amount of time? Exactly the same amount of time.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believing life. Out here living that believing life. Every day we living that believing life. Hustle like we living that believing life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believing life, oh. That believing life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn how you can stay relevant so the future doesn't destroy you. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule #1. Question everything with Robert Kiyosaki.
I think most of your viewers out there sitting inside their head are the words from their mother and father. Go to school, get a job, pay taxes, save money, buy a house because it's an asset, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That creates poor people. It's a hypnosis train going through your brain. So when people say, how do I change my life? Well, you change those words. I wouldn't go to school because you learn nothing about money in school. I wouldn't get a job because if I have a job, I'm an employee. And then I'd pay taxes, and I don't pay taxes. And I don't save money. And I use debt to get rich, and I don't invest in the stock market. That's why I'm rich. And so the young people who are listening right now are saying, but that's what my mom and dad said. But that's what mom and dad say all over the world. So to the young people, I just say challenge or question what you've been taught. Because from the Bible, I'm not religious, the word becomes flesh. So if you say, go to school, and you say, but I learned nothing about money. Get a job, you become an employee. If you're an employee, you work for money, I pay taxes. Then they tell you to save money. Why would you save money when the government's printing money? You know, and get out of debt. Well, debt is money. I use debt to get rich. Most people use debt to get poor and invest in the stock market. I don't invest in the stock market. So when you wonder why so many people struggle financially, is they haven't challenged the hypnosis, the words, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay taxes. Until you question those hypnotic trances, you don't change.
Rule #2, constantly improve yourself with Tony Robbins.
You can't have a standard education and expect to have an extraordinary life. It's not gonna happen. The one breakthrough for all leaders is constant, never-ending improvement. And that means educating yourself and continuing to develop even greater emotional mastery, because that's what affects whether you execute or not. The opportunity for self-education is there. We have to change our psychology from, I'm gonna do what everybody else does, and I'm mad because it doesn't work anymore, to the reality is this is the greatest time to be alive if you're growing, you're learning, you're educating, and you're developing valuable skills. So instead of complaining, you gotta say, where are the skill sets valued in the marketplace? And how do I work harder on myself than anything else? Because if I become more valuable, then I will be able to give more, do more, and change more. When I interviewed Warren Buffett, I asked the most important investment he ever made in his life. You know what he said it was? I was thinking all the companies he'd done, you know. He said, Tony, go into Dale Carnegie. I said, what? He goes, because by developing myself, that's the most important investment. Those skill sets, learning how to persuade, learning how to speak, learning how to influence, all my ideas would have died on my lips if I hadn't been able to influence, and I learned it from that little course. Most valuable thing I ever did in my life, he said.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, self-love, and motivation, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
So if you want to change your life, my friends, you got to change your physiology and you got to change your focus.
When you're trying to get wealthy, you want to go all in and it not be a bet. You need to know the space so well that you're like, I know for sure this is going to work.
Most PhDs tell me I can't write. Yes, I said I can't write, but I can sell.
Rule number 3, keep up with innovations with Jordan Peterson.
I made a decision when the computers started to become omnipresent, and so that would have been about 1993, that I was going to spend a year, and that was the first year that I was teaching in Boston, pretty much doing nothing but figuring out how Intel 486s worked. And it meant there was a lot of other things that I had to put on hold, but I did become a competent computer user, and I'm pretty fast. But, you know, my son, it's just annoying as hell to watch him on the computer and on the phone and my graduate students as well, because they're so much faster than me that it's not even funny, and I'm not really accustomed to being slower than someone else in the room. And so, you know, if I had children now, the one thing I would bloody well make sure that they knew was how to use a computer, how to program, man. Because if you're smart and you can use a computer, you are so much smarter than you are if you're just smart that it's not even funny. You know, and you talk to people, you see this in Silicon Valley all the time, you talk to people who are expert computer users, they are so bloody powerful it is just beyond belief. So, and that's going to do nothing but expand, right? Because Moore's law is not dead, and computers are doubling in power every 18 months, and who the hell knows where that's going to go.
Rule number 4, manage your activities with Bob Proctor.
Think of this for a moment. Do you know that every living soul gets exactly the same amount of time? Exactly the same amount of time. Figure it out. You get all there is. A hobo sleeping under a bridge or on a park bench that has no material possessions, none, does nothing of any constructive nature. That person gets exactly the same amount of time as the most productive industrialist in the world. We all get exactly the same amount of time. So it's what we do with the time that makes a difference. Now, I want you to think of the number of time management programs. Almost everyone under the sun has time management programs. In fact, I made one time, spent a lot of money on it. And then I found out it was a dumb waste of time and money. Do you know why? Time can't be managed. I was having breakfast with Earl Nightingale one morning. It was downtown Chicago, and I was going with him on a speaking engagement, and it was early in the morning. He said, "You want to meet for breakfast?" Whenever Earl Nightingale said, "You want to meet me?" I was there, and I always had some well-prepared questions. And I remember asking him, I said, "Earl, how did you learn how to master time management?" You know, we're having breakfast. I can still hear his fork hit the plate. He said, "What the hell are you talking about?" He said, "I've never mastered time management. Nobody masters time management." He said, "Time can't be managed." He said, "I merely manage activity." And he took a little card out of his pocket. And he said, "Every night before I go to bed, I write down 6 most important things I have to do tomorrow. These are goal-achieving activities. And when I wake up, that's what I start working on. And if I don't get them all done, I'll add them to tomorrow's list." You should have about 6. Now, if I have 3 that I didn't get done today, that doesn't mean I have 9 for tomorrow, like 6 plus these 3. Those 3 become part of the 6 you have to do the next day. When you wake up, you give all your conscious attention to do those things. See, you cannot manage time, but you can manage activity. You can manage your activities. Make certain that what you're doing really makes a difference. Make certain that you're spending your time on activities that are productive, that are taking you in the direction of your goal.
And rule number 5, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is always keep learning with Mark Cuban.
What is your thing, and when did you kind of understand what it was?
It hasn't changed. My thing is learning whatever is new and applying it in ways that other people aren't thinking of. And so when I got fired from a job selling software, started a company, and within 6 months, this was the early days of PCs, I recognized that, okay, we need to connect PCs together. Back then, you walked around and you had your 5.25-inch floppy, and who would need to connect a PC? We started, writing software for local area networks, became a systems integrator, $30-some million run rate, and sold it to H&R Block. And then got to the internet. Okay, let's look at this internet thing. Someone's going to need to put audio and then video on there. Great. And then after Yahoo did Yahoo, right, I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at these big screen TVs that cost $30,000 that are high definition television sets. And I'm thinking, you know what? Eventually they're going to follow the price performance curve of traditional consumer electronics. And they're going to come down in price. So I started the first all high definition TV network called HDNet. Then I'm looking and saying, okay, you know what? It's like 2006, 2007, and traditional television and cable is going digital. I'm saying, you know what? There's going to be a lot of storage space and first access digital space that cable companies aren't used to using. So let's take a movie production company that we created and let's make it available for day and date distribution where people will pay $20 to the cable company to watch this brand new movie, and we get to keep 10 of it. And so we had 29 productions. We started producing movies, and lo and behold, the first movie we created was a documentary called Enron, the Smartest Guys in the Room. Got nominated for Academy Award, then we didn't really create any good ones after that, but by being first leveraging digital storage, we were able to take advantage and make a lot of money. And in the NBA with the Mavericks, just doing those types of things. And it's what I like to do now. And so, now I'm going through and teaching myself neural networks and, doing the same thing with machine learning and GANs and this and that, because AI is going to have more of an impact than the internet did. AI plus new types of chipsets plus 5G is going to change things far more than we've ever seen anything change. And understanding where and how to apply it is going to be critical, but just as important, knowing how to segregate and separate the bullshit, right, is as important, because every email y'all are about to send me is going to say, I have this AI solution and we're using algorithms. Yeah, of course you are, right? And then what? What really makes you different? What really sets you apart? But if I didn't do that work, if I didn't sit down and do the AWS machine learning tutorials, if I didn't go on YouTube and take, the NYU Introduction to Neural Networks or whatever, I'm not going to know it, I'm not going to be able to apply it, and I'm not going to be able to be first. And that's fun. That's fun. Knowing I get to kick the ass of some 22-year-old NYU graduate, that's awesome,
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Grant Cardone on how to study success that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What new thing will you commit to learning this month? Number 2. What activities do you need to manage better? And number 3. What can you improve in yourself this week?
People should be studying the most successful companies in the world, not individuals. Don't worry about Dave or Gary or Tony or Grant. What are successful people doing? One of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life was tracking people that were doing better than me. So what? Like I made so many dumbass decisions because Dave did it, or The Millionaire Next Door, that book. I don't want to be the millionaire next door. I want to know what Jeff Bezos is doing. I want to know what the boys at Google are doing. Okay? Why does a guy like Mark Zuckerberg go from college dorm room to one of the richest people on the planet? That's who we should be studying. And don't listen to everybody else, because those people have financial freedom to the point to where they can do anything they want. Like, you cannot mess up some of these people's situation. They couldn't screw it up if they wanted to. So the 10X rule it says, hey, look, you want to scale to a point to where you have the life you deserve. It's not about the money you want or the money you need. Scale your business so you can walk away from it and money never stops taking care of you and your family. You don't need to study 27 different Warrens. You study one Warren, you're probably going to be good. Most of us, because of Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, we're listening to so many different people that people do nothing. This is the new crisis of our era. People are doing nothing, not because they're lazy, because they have data that is conflicting. So if you listen to Dave says buy a house, then you listen to Grant says that's stupid, you're not going to do anything. And if you're never going to buy any real estate, hey, go ahead and buy one house. Yeah, you're going to regret it later, and you're going to be like, I wish I'd have done what Cardone said. But you got to do something. And what you don't want to do is listen to God and the devil. Because then you get stuck in purgatory and you don't have any fun at all.
If you want to know why your comfort zone is destroying your life, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.